Now, over the weekend, Benin Republic rendered its port off-limit to the exportation of oil by landlocked Niger in a growing row over the continuing closure of their common border. Niger says Benin is violating trade agreements by her decision, one that has significant implications for the regional energy market, economic relations and security. To help with some perspective on the broader reasons behind Benin's decision, the impact on Niger's oil industry and the potential solutions, if any, to this diplomatic standoff, is Dr. Bertin Koovi, African Affairs Analyst. He joins us from Cotonou, Benin Republic. Thank you very much for giving us your time. Now, the action by your country is coming despite the easing of sanctions introduced by ECOWAS shortly after the coup in Niger. What are the main, or should I rephrase that and say the real reasons behind Benin's decision to block Niger's oil exports?
Thank you very much, madam. The problem is beyond the ECOWAS situation. Let me explain a little bit. Benin Republic and Niger has signed a contract. Niger producing oil, Benin having the pipeline and the seaport. No matter what is the problem between Benin Republic and Niger, if Niger Prime Minister is coming to Benin for the first loading of that crude oil, won't they officially inform the government of Benin Republic? Benin Republic have been informed by the company, the Chinese company that is in charge of that production of oil. And the government of Benin, my country government, says that they cannot inform them unofficially. If the Prime Minister of Niger is coming to launch the production of the exportation of their own crude oil, the government of Niger should officially inform our government. That's the main problem. Now, of course, Benin Republic is thinking that, is also saying that as Niger has refused to open their border to the land border, they should not also try to send their crude oil through our sea. Anyway, but as I'm concerned, that should not be the main issue. That should not be the main reason. If Niger tomorrow inform officially Benin Republic that they want to export their own oil, I think they will be allowed to do so. So two countries cannot work through a company, a private company that will inform Benin Republic. That is part of that joint venture. Because Niger has the oil, we are hosting the pipeline, and we are not officially informed that Niger want to produce.
That still goes back, Doctor, that still goes back to what the inference I made. Are there underlying issues? Because both have been aware that the pipeline was under construction, that oil is supposed to pass through this pipeline. And then, of course, there is the economic part of things. Before we talk about the violation of trade agreements, what are the underlying issue that is hampering diplomatic relations between these two countries enough to disrupt such a huge project that the Chinese company made? Okay, go ahead, please.
When I listen to our president in Benin Republic, he says Niger has closed their land border. He has no reason to allow them also to export their crude oil. But I'm talking as an analyst, and I'm analyzing the main issue. If Niger want to export their oil, they should at least officially inform Benin Republic. But you made a point, madam. My question is this: where is the President Tinubu today? Where is the President of Togo? Where is ECOWAS? They sanctioned Niger and asked everybody to close the border with no reason. Now Benin is suffering a bad relationship between Benin and Niger. Why Nigeria can't intervene and call them to come to peace situation? So we are.
Do you think that will have much?
A bad decision, and Benin people are suffering about that.
Anyway, let me not rush to asking for the intervention, even though you've brought it up. Let's see if we can try and still get the issues out. Niger is accusing Benin of, breaking a trade agreement, violating trade agreement via this blockade. In your view, is there any credibility to that accusation, or it is just political coloring to the actual issues that Benin is putting on the table?
I can't really say, but when I observe what is happening, I can just say what is happening is very sad. Two poor countries that cannot feed their population, fighting for, I don't know what reason. In Niger, we have the tribes of Niger are the same in Benin. What I will advise both countries is to look for peace decision. And I hereby call on the wisdom of Nigeria leadership to call both countries around the table to look for peace session, to talk, to have a peace discussion.
But at the beginning of this program, at the beginning of my conversation with you, you mentioned the fact that the disagreement is beyond ECOWAS, right? And Nigeria is a big player in ECOWAS. Are you soliciting their intervention as a result of the fact that they are, in quotes, the giant of Africa, the biggest economy, or in the president's capacity as the leader of ECOWAS?
Well, the future will say, but what I will just say is, as I was mentioning now, whatever analyzing we'll do here will not change the situation. What we need, even you, yourself, madam, we look forward to have your TV intervening in favor of peace between Niger and Benin Republic. That's what matters. But
yeah, but the idea is not to jump, sir. The idea is not just to jump to, the solutions. We need to understand the basic, and you have been doing that. You've been giving us an idea of what the real issues are. So I guess I'll continue with that train of thought, and then towards the end, we'll talk more about looking for solution. Let's talk about the impact of this blockade, not only on Niger's economy, but that of Benin Republic. Do you think there is any for either country, or Benin Republic, because they are trying to cover a debt, will suffer more?
But Benin Republic, let's go. It was a mistake that for Benin Republic to close its border, to even follow what ECOWAS said, closing the border with Niger, because 60% of the Benin port activities goes to Niger, meaning we are really suffering. That's a fact. If somebody told you we are not suffering, he's lying. Benin is the first to suffer this situation. Now, Niger is saying there are French military bases in Benin Republic, and they are afraid for their security. And I can assure you, is a fake information. We are inviting Niger authorities to come to Benin and verify whether what they are saying is true. As you were asking, Benin is the first to suffer this situation. But I am a little sad to see my country is not respecting an agreement, an international agreement, because what Benin Republic has signed with Niger, with that Chinese company, has nothing to do with whether the border is closed or is not closed. That's another issue to consider. But, when you are suffering the situation, you will look for any case to defend yourself. Now, I think That's what Benin is doing. I am sure they will get a solution.
All right.
Benin is suffering. That's the fact.
All right. Another part of this issue is, on the one hand, Niger won't fully reopen the border. That's one of the issues, citing security threats. And Benin is maintaining, like you've rightly said, it will not relent if Niger doesn't reopen its border to the country's goods and normalize relations. From a layman's point of view, it's looking like, I mean, it's a bit intriguing asking you this question, considering that you are an analyst that live in Niger, in Benin Republic. But then again, it seems Niger wants to have its cake and eat it at the same time. Wants to eat its cake rather and have it. Is there a common ground that's possible?
Well, I don't really know what to say, because this situation, it is hard to understand what. Anyway, let me just say the two leadership, Niger and Benin, are not really considering the interests of the masses, the interests of Benin Republic as a state, the interests of Niger as a state. And as I was saying at the beginning, we need a third party to help us to fix this issue. If Niger refuses to open their border and Benin refuses to leave their oil go, okay, are we going to war? Yes.
What really can a third party do? Even if they do coming, what are the likely solutions, in your view, to this crisis, to ending it?
In my view, the problem what Niger is saying as reason is security. We are inviting them with a third party, maybe Nigeria, because Nigeria is the leading country of West Africa, even Africa. Nigeria should come with Niger delegation to verify in Benin Republic whether we have a French base that can attack Niger, because that's what they are saying. And we don't have something like that. Why should we attack Niger? So if Nigeria can help for that, then we have a deal. Otherwise, this could end by a war. I am sure Niger will not leave their crude oil in Benin Republic, and I don't see my president, my country, allowing a vessel to come and load. So what we will do?
But this is not impacting just Niger. The pipelines are a channel to move oil from one part to the other, and a contract was signed way ahead of time, which I'm sure your country is aware of. So where does that leave oil industry in Africa? How will it impact on the growth of the oil industry and maybe employability of the people along this coastal, pipeline route and between your countries?
Madam, you are making a point, and this is international law that you are applying. But let me say something. Even in Nigeria, let's assume Niger, the pipeline goes to Nigeria seaport. If Niger want to load and their prime minister is coming to Nigeria, whatever is their problem, won't they officially inform the authorities of Nigeria? Why can't they just tell Benin Republic, our prime minister is coming to load our own crude oil? Why are they thinking they can come to Benin Republic without informing the authorities of Benin Republic? They did their customs did the same. They came to Benin Republic. They went to that seaport. They worked with the Chinese, and later they called our customs to come and visit them at their hotel. We signed an agreement with them, but we have not sold our land to them. We are still a country. That's what we are saying. There is a mistake at both sides. If I was head of state, I would have not taken maybe such decision. But if I was a Nigerian, I would not do what they are also doing. When you are going to another person's country, whatever, how strong you are, you let him know that you are coming to his country. And beside this, the contract is Niger, Benin Republic, and that Chinese company. If we are not involved, how could we know the quantity they are exporting? Then we calculate the royalties that goes to our country, if we are not involved.
True, you're making...
That's also another question to consider.
True, you're making valid points there. There has to be interaction. There has to be diplomatic relation. And that, remember, at the beginning, I talked about what is really at the heart of these row that we are witnessing now. What do you think is the reason for Niger continuing to stand off informing Benin Republic officially about their decision to begin to roll out fuel oil using the pipelines?
Well, you know, before to be 54, I have been a young boy, and I remember what we do in those ages. When you are unhappy with somebody, sometimes you don't think. The problem is Niger cannot explain how Benin has closed its border with them. And remember, Benin seaport was the main seaport of Niger. So a lot of their truck, lot of their goods were destroyed. But that was a decision taken by ECOWAS. My country took a wrong decision. And everybody remember that I was against that. I said this is wrong and we cannot do that to Niger, not Benin Republic. It's like Nigeria switching electricity to Niger was also a bad decision. Well, what happened. What we need now is to have peace. I think Niger is looking for Benin Republic to come to them and officially say, we are sorry. That should be a point to make, because Benin has opened the border, yes. But have we really shown Nigerians that we are really sorry for what we did? We are always saying it is ECOWAS, ECOWAS. Where is ECOWAS today? Where is President Tinubu today? Where is President of Cote d'Ivoire, Alassane Ouattara, of Senegal? We are the only suffering today. But we were telling them it was a bad decision. The Republic is suffering for 15 countries' decision.
As they say, when two elephants fight, it is the grass that suffers. And I'm referring here to the citizenry of both countries. And like you rightly pointed out, it seems they're paying for saying that it wasn't just theirs. So therefore, I get the point where you say Nigerian government and other governments should come and get them to have a dialogue. But let's talk about the citizens who are impacted by this blockade. What are they telling you about this blockade? What's the reaction among Beninese in where you are?
Beninese and Nigerians are more concerned by the border at the north that is closed, because onion comes from Niger, potato comes from Niger to Benin Republic, but corn and other things goes from Benin Republic to Niger. Of course, people are still doing business through the river, the Niger River, with a lot of accidents, people dying. So people are more concerned by the border in the north, at the north, than the crude oil that is not exporting on the sea. Another problem. Can you imagine? Of course, Niger got a solution, and they are only using the seaport of Togo now. Niger has taken a decision saying no truck registered in Benin Republic should load anything at the port of Togo for Niamey, meaning we are having economic war. I think our people are suffering in Niger. Niger also is suffering. But it is even more serious than that. When you take, there is an association that they call Dendi Ganda. The Dendi language is spoken at Kanda in Nigeria, no, not far from from Sokoto, at Gaya in Niger, Karimama in Benin, Malanville in Benin. So those people are the one really suffering. I just expect everybody will look for wisdom and get solution for this. And I will not say it enough. I am waiting for President Tinubu to intervene, to tell them, you people are poor countries. You can't fight the way you are doing.
Those are really strong words and advice for both countries. But because you understand the public terrain and you've shared the sentiments, the concerns, and the impact really of what this is doing, the border closure and the blockade is doing to both countries. So if you were, let's assume that we are in some kind of El Dorado, have the opportunity to have both governments, what would be your candid advice pending the intervention of other governments? What would you say from your analysis of the situation that they can do to stop this drama?
Well, in Benin Republic, I think I am the most qualified to go and talk to Niger. Because when this thing started, I was the only politician who told my president that I was supporting, that we are wrong, closing border against with Niger. And I know what I suffered. And Nigerians, they know what I suffered. I went to Niger to give them my support, even I will say financially, and politically supporting them, saying we are the same people, we cannot do this. So I still think we can do something. But what to do if I was appointed for that? First of all, I will go to see the Emir of Sokoto and ask him for help. I will see the President Tinubu. I will see President Buhari. I will see the former Emir of Kano. Then I will go with the former President of Benin Republic, Soglo and Yaiboni, and we will go and see our brothers in Niger and tell them we were wrong. We are sorry for what happened. Please forgive us. What we have to do is only asking for forgiveness. We forget about our pride. We forget about the diplomacy. We forget about business. We are human beings. And I can assure you, Niger really suffered from Benin closing its border. Of course, ECOWAS decided, but Benin did it. So if you go to Niger, you say it is ECOWAS. They don't care of ECOWAS. They see Benin Republic as state. So that's what Benin government should understand.
All right. I mean, it is obvious from what you're saying that this has more to do with pride, ego, and whatnot. But then it is the people that continue to suffer. What would you say to the citizens that are being impacted while we wait for a resolution, hopefully soon, of this crisis? What would you say to the citizens who are suffering the repercussion of the actions of their leaders?
What I will tell them, if they are Muslims, when they are doing, when they finish to do Al-Fatiha and they finish to do their prayer, they Fajr prayer every morning, they should continue praying, asking for wisdom to intervene between the two leadership, because that's the first step. If Niger say, no, we are a sovereign country, it is our oil, it is our country, we will not open. If Benin Republic says, it is my land, my sea, anyway, we'll continue having a problem. What I want to tell our people, prayer can overcome anything. Now they should not be abusing any leader. The Benin people should not abuse Niger people, and Niger citizens should not abuse Benin leader. We should look for a way we will bring them at a table. That's what I will tell them.
All right, thank you very much for speaking with us. We really appreciate the insight you've provided. And of course, we hope that the situation is addressed soon. Thank you.
Inshallah. Thank you very much, madam.
Inshallah. I don't know why I love those words, really, but I do. Inshallah.